I promise you I will do a face reveal when I get the kidney surgery. Well, here we go. Oh man, have I missed this. I'm gonna start out by apologizing to you. I am sorry. I miscalculated. I thought I had videos ready to go, and I did have a lot of footage to mess with. I have footage, but I found out after I got home that I couldn't sit upright for any amount of time without it hurting, and it took me, oh gosh, well over maybe 2 weeks before I could really just sit. So my days after having my kidney removed was primarily laying down or standing up, and I could sit a little bit. I could sit probably for 15 minutes. 30 minutes was really pushing it. So I want to apologize for that. I really wanted to have videos out while I was not riding, but it just didn't happen. And the last week or so has been me slowly getting my strength back, and I can sit up for more hours, a longer time, longer stretches of time, but my strength just really hasn't been there. And I'm just now getting to a point where I can get back to ride. So now this is my first ride since I've had my surgery, and man, it feels good. It feels good to be on two wheels. So I'll talk about the recovery with you guys. Wednesday morning, my wife took me early to go down there. We were there around 5 o'clock in the morning, and then my friend showed up just a few minutes after we did, and so we talked about stuff, and I got to meet his dad, his brother, and his sister, and so it was really good. They were all very excited and happy because my friend's gonna get another chance at a normal life. And I'd say by 6 o'clock they had me, ready to go. Like had my gown on, they had IVs in me and finishing out all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and all that they needed to do so that I could get going with my thing. And so they have a little room, which I think of like the ERs. If you've ever been in an ER, they kind of just have these little sectioned off places with the curtain, and that's basically what it was. They had me put on the gown and the socks, and I had leg compressors on that, what do you call it, that keep your blood from pooling or whatever. And so they got everything in and said, all right, we're gonna knock you out. And they didn't even move me to the next, like I hadn't even moved from that room. I was just out, and then they took me in, and the next thing I know, I'm in the recovery room, and I'm feeling pretty good about everything, and got a catheter in my my urethra. So then they're keeping an eye on me. They moved me to my room after a little while, and my wife is there, and it was before lunch, because they said I could get, I think it was before lunch. Yes, it was before lunch, because they said because I was doing well, I could have a solid lunch instead of a liquid diet. So that was pretty exciting. I had a solid lunch. My wife stayed there, and we just kind of did our thing. I didn't I didn't feel bad, but I didn't feel really good. And then overnight, I didn't really move a whole lot, and at one point, oh, I know what it was. The nurse came in to clean my catheter, and I think when she cleaned it, she kind of dislodged it or whatever, because she said, hey, if you feel like you need to pee, just pee. And so at one point I did, and it didn't, like, it didn't go into the tube. Like, some of it leaked out on me, and so I told her. So she came in, and it wasn't that much. Got a new gown, got new whatevers, and cleaned up. But in the process, I had to roll over on my side, and when I did, it literally felt like all of my guts sloshed over to my right side, like bleh. Like if you had half a container of Jello and you turned it on its side and all the Jello just dropped down. That's what it felt like, and it scared me. But after a little while, I realized the reason it felt like that is I still had a lot of air in my body cavity, my stomach. Because what they did was they made a couple of tiny incisions. You can't even see where they put the little tools in. And then they made a little, maybe 3-inch incision from my belly button down. And they fill up that whole, my whole, they inflate my belly basically. And then when it's after the surgery, they try to get all the gas out that they can, but some of it still remains. Anybody that's had gallbladder or any kind of laparoscopic surgery done knows that this is the case. And so part of getting that taken care of is you've got to walk, but in the meantime you just have a gut full of air. So I think that's what happened to me, was my gut was full of air, and so when I rolled over, it felt like everything had just sloshed around. But that wasn't the case. I talked to the doctor. I had a checkup a week and a half later, and he said everything was good. I shouldn't worry about it, just keep walking or whatever. So here's the farmer's market. I'm gonna park it and go check it out, see if there's anybody here I know. Oh, here we go.